Hey y'all, so everybody been asking me how was my birth this time. So baby right here is baby number 4. For each and every one of my children, oh, this girl got polish on my hand. Sorry. Anyway, so for each and every one of my children, I have always had Pitocin and epidural. I have always been forced to be induced. And I shouldn't say force, because technically, I know now, okay? No, you're right. I know now that they can't force you to do anything, but they would always tell me, like, you got to get induced or whatever. So with Tegan, my water broke and she wasn't coming fast enough. With True, my water broke, she wasn't coming fast enough. With Taichi, my blood pressure was a little bit elevated, so they took him. I had to be induced, and it was always Pitocin and epidural. Comment down below if you ever had Pitocin and epidural. I swear Pitocin is the devil's juice. Sorry if you a new mama and you about to deliver. So Pitocin, I know now from having doulas and stuff and learning through this last pregnancy that Pitocin gives you false contractions, more intense contractions, and most likely, I do not know the statistics, but most likely if you have Pitocin, you're going to have an epidural because the contractions are false. They're not your natural body's contractions. Like, they're more intense. So because of my first 3, I've always been terrified. Listen, I can't do that by myself. And then epidural slows down the process, which is why when you have an epidural, you have to have a blood pressure cuff. You have to have an IV. You have to have all these different things because so much stuff can happen and they have to monitor you when you have epidural and Pitocin. So now, fast forward to this baby. So sure enough, my blood pressure was elevated, and we're going to talk about that in another video. My blood pressure was elevated, and they ended up having to take this kid out. And I was terrified, and I thought they were going to put me on Pitocin, and they didn't. They put me on something called Seretec, I believe is the name. And it was a pill. And you had to do, it was like a little bitty tiny, like, chiblet of a pill. And you had to take it, and it was basically like to get your body to start dilating. So for me, with my last son, if you read my book, The Story of Tychicus McGill Harness, you will know that he came super fast. And I think my baby about to start crying. This video about to be over. Hey son, we matching. I didn't even realize it, but so yes, he said he wanted to be in the video too, which is cool. Hey son. So this time it was just that, and contractions came naturally. Contractions are just like, if you ever had a period, they're just like stomach cramps. So contractions came, and it was cool. You know, I wasn't really tripping about it, and they were getting ready to put me on Pitocin. I'm like, oh Lord, here come the devil's juice. And I had this wonderful plan to not have an epidural, but I knew if I got some Pitocin, I wanted an epidural. Like, it was like a 75% chance I was gonna get an epidural. Start coming, and I was like, okay, I'll get ready for the epidural because y'all about to start the Pitocin. And they always say, now I've always heard everybody say this, but mind you, because of my past experience, I never had a chance to do this. So they always say, when you feel like you can't do it no more, that's when it's over. So sure enough, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the epidural. So she said, okay, well, we got to do 30 minutes of IV. And I said, oh gosh. And I had got to that point. I'm a very calm, cool, collective person. I had got to the point, like, I don't want to listen to you no more. And shout out to my nurse, because my nurse was dope. But I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm not listening to you no more. I unplugged myself off the monitors. I got up. I started walking around. I was like, who about to, I said, okay, we'll go get the IV. So she brings the IV, and I remember my doula saying, if you inflict pain upon yourself, it will distract you from the pain that is happening in your uterus. So what I ended up doing was I would walk. I would put pressure on one foot for 10 seconds and then pressure on the other foot for 10 seconds. And I would take slow walks through my contractions, and my nurse kept saying, breathe. And if you're a new mom, I hate when they say, like, breathe, because they be like, how do you breathe? So I'm like, I'm going to breathe the way I want to breathe, because I was just like at the point like where I was just done listening to people. So I just started breathing. She was like, that's good. I'm like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. I'm just breathing at this point, but okay, cool. So I'm breathing, I'm walking, and she's like, well, maybe let's just do 15 minutes of the IV. And then she was like, I don't think you can get an epidural. I don't know what it looked like on the outside, but I honestly, like, I felt cool. It was just like some stomach cramps. Like, it was really cool. So I called my husband and I'm like, they saying that I can't get the epidural. At this point, I'm 3 centimeters dilated, and at like I want to say about 10 minutes, I went from 3 centimeters dilated to 6 centimeters dilated. In order to deliver a baby, you need to be 10 centimeters dilated. So I went from 3 to 6. 6 centimeters dilated is considered active labor. Oh, you got the hiccups. So I'm 6 centimeters dilated, and at this point, my contractions start coming. And at this point, they like, yeah, you're 6 centimeters. You're not getting an epidural. And I'm like, who about to push this baby out? If y'all watch The Jacksons of Atlanta, watch her last childbirth. I love that video because it really put me on about what to expect when getting ready to deliver. So I said, well, what's my options? So when you get ready to give birth, you have 3 options. You can do epidural. You can do a medicine that they put in your, I think it's a pill, or it can go through the IV. I'm not sure about it, but just know that it's fentanyl. And when I found out it was fentanyl, I was like, no, but it's supposed to be a medically, you know how they have all that stuff, like all them drugs that can become addictive, but technically they're medically, you know, whatever, approved. And I'm like, I'm not giving my baby fentanyl. Like, what are we doing? If you did it before, no, I ain't coming at you at all. But it was just something that I wasn't a fan of, just because of what fentanyl has become in the last year or so, just hearing the stories on the news. So you can do epidural, you can do the fentanyl drug, or you can do the laughing gas. So every time they said you could do laughing gas, I would laugh. Who about to do laughing gas? Like, I don't want no laughing gas. And then the way you do laughing gas in labor is you have to put it over your nose, and then you have to take it off yourself. No, strap me down. Like, only time I've had laughing gas one time, and it was in for my wisdom teeth, when they pull my wisdom teeth out. And they strapped you down, and you know, you gotta be out of it, whatever. So I'm like, I gotta put it on myself? Like, what the world? So at this point, this is all I have left. I can only choose laughing gas. So I'm like, okay, give me the laughing gas. And I just remember them saying it's gonna take 10 minutes to put it on, to get it ready. It's different parts you gotta connect. I just remember kept asking them, is it ready? Is it ready yet? Is it ready now? Is it ready yet? So my husband runs in. At this point, I know, because this is my 4th baby. I know what it feels like when the baby is coming out of you. I'm like, where is my husband? I call him. He's like, I'm running. So he runs into the room, and he's like, I'm here. And I remember squeezing my husband's hand 3 times, and in came the skid. It was 3 pushes. My doctor didn't even make it in there yet. When I tell y'all I deliver babies fast, I deliver babies fast. My last with Tai Chi, my last son, the doctor missed his birth too. But the doctor ran in at the last minute. All I remember is hearing one of the nurses say, she's like, I'm trying to help you. She's like, I'm trying to help you deliver your baby, but you better not kick me in my head. And I'm like, who is this lady, and why she think I'm about to kick her? Like, I'm just trying to deliver a baby. Y'all, oh, I can't make this stuff up. But yeah, it was 3 pushes. The laughing gas, people have been asking about the laughing gas. The laughing gas helped tremendously. Like, I used to laugh about laughing gas in delivery. No, this is supposed to be our last kid. I kind of have mixed feelings about that now, because I'm like, oh, I like our growing family. But if I had to do it again, I'm choosing laughing gas. I would definitely choose laughing gas. You can only put it on when you feel a contraction coming, which if you've ever been in labor, or, you know, if you're a girl and you got stomach cramps, like, when you feel that you're about to have that, and they usually are timed out perfectly, like 2 minutes, and you can see them on the monitors. When you feel like you're about to have that, you put the mask on, and then when it goes away, it goes away. I feel like the contraction is coming, so you feel the pain about to come. So you put the mask on, and by the time you start breathing that air in, it's starting to release some of that pain, or at least make you not think about it a little bit. And then by that point, it's over. So I think the strongest contraction I had was that last push when he was coming out. But it was like laughing gas on.